Expert continues to put on a show as they're up 2-0 over the good guys, and they seem to really want to represent Europe at the Western Clash.
Yeah, they do. And they have a good chance to make that happen if they win today and also take out Team Liquid next week. So they are looking currently fantastic. Good guys, they need to turn it around somehow. So far their drafts have not worked out, and they might change on the third map because they need to make that change right now.
That they do. Let's go to our third map and figure out where we'll be playing. Our teams will be going to Sky Temple as Expert will take the battleground. As good guys, they want to grab first pick again.
It also has to be a bit worrisome for the good guys looking at the standings now. We have at the bottom of the standings in Europe currently the Zealots, the good guys, and also, of course, the Ducks. But Zealots have gotten some really important wins in, and they still have a match against the good guys, so that could become a problem.
Yeah, I still want to say, though, the two teams that have came in for the HGC, they've been putting in a lot of work and it's starting to show. They came in and are facing off against teams that had a good 10 weeks of pure competitive play.
Yeah.
So while they might not be having the wins that they would like, they are still getting some nice moments in that will allow them to continue to improve, which is always good to see. It's what the HGC is all about.
Yeah, exactly. Having that regular play definitely helps you as a team. And of course, you can focus also much more on the play once that you made it into the HGC. So time is definitely going to help the teams to improve here, but for the good guys, improvement should come a bit faster than that if they are at least trying to get a few maps here today, if not even a reverse sweep. And this is basically the phase of reverse sweeps. We have seen 6 or 7 already combined in Europe and North America.
Especially in the first couple of weeks, it started to dwindle a little bit, but hey, why not bring it back, man? Bads are always cool. So let's go ahead and get ready for our Sky Temple draft. I'm excited to see how Expert will be pulling off the entire series here, as they're wanting to get a 3-0. They just want to get done and clean here so they can go straight to focusing for Team Liquid, who will be next week. So here we are, Sky Temple.
And if the Experts win here, it would also make sure that we don't have that scenario or this very unlikely that scenario I was talking about earlier would happen where we have a 3-way tie. But it would also just boost the map score on the side of the Experts. And that is, as we heard several times now, a really important factor. Not only in case of a 3-way tie, but also when you're looking forward to beyond the Western Clash. When you look towards BlizzCon, then the map scores are very likely to play a part into this.
Illidan and Medivh will not be allowed again here on Sky Temple. Greymane will be the first pickup here, as the good guys will grab him. I was wondering if they would move into Dahaka, but they decided not to.
Maybe a blow-up comp? Greymane does 2 things for them. First of all, a Greymane Abathur combination is not possible, and also it could make it easier for them to go into a blow-up composition if they want that. Their Illidan got denied, so they can't play around it, but they leave with a pick on Greymane. Now Uther, Genji, and a Nubarak open. They're guaranteed to get at least one of the 3, but that is still a very comfortable position for the Expert to be in, since they have a lot of cool picks to take, a lot of very high priority picks that are still available to them.
Well, knowing Expert, I wonder if they're going to go straight into the Uther and a Nubarak. There it is, actually. Let's go ahead and grab Uther, grab a Nubarak, so Genji is still available, but Team Good Guys will decide to think that's worth it here, with them not having that D-Shield available for them. Yeah,
so either you ban him or you pick him now. That's the options that they basically have with this.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to go into Genji. If they are trying to play a bit more of a blow-up comp, then other comps would be a little bit better for them. But there's still also heroes around that we have seen banned out in previous series. Stitches still can work here. You can play him on this map as well. Globals, Dehaka, once again, trying to get that side soak, making sure that you have that top lane when the second temple phase is starting is another big tool for you.
Curious how Ariel's fallen in this roster between these teams. Speaking about it, and there she is, of course. There's Ariel and Gul'dan being brought in, so now we have a decent boss control with that Horrify. Got poke for the lanes, and of course a battery there for Ariel to keep pumping out those heals to match against Uther.
I still feel that Expert gets very much what they like so far, and it seems that they are a bit worried about potentially Vikings being played. That would be an interesting ban. We have seen the good guys play with the Vikings once, but
yeah,
I'm not really sure if I would respect it to a degree that I would ban them out here. But they are playing it safe. Better safe than sorry. Just saying, as long as this is basically just Team Expert saying, as long as the standard comp is being played, we are the better team. We're going to take you down. If you play something nasty, we might have an issue here. And I guess again, ban on Genji does not really surprise us too much. We've been talking about him already.
Tassadar and Tracer is and we've seen it from Expert.
True.
It's good on this battleground. It's good against Gul'dan and Ariel in particular. It forces that Aegis to maybe use around a Pulse Bomb.
That is actually very true. We have seen that several times from them, and they could play it here now as well. So that's one of the options that they have. I'm kind of really thinking of how much I would like that. I mean, they can definitely play it.
It would hurt them on the wave clear. Tesseract would be good enough, but a Nubarak kind of lacks on tanks for actually clearing waves. Very similar to Muradin, where he can kind of hold it, but it kind of costs him a little bit too much mana. So we'll see if Team Expert wants to go down that route. Other things that are popping around, we still have that Li Ming floating around, which can be good, especially when you add it with the Nubarak. So we can get damage rotated in for Team Expert. It's a matter of seconds here until we find out what exactly they want.
I wouldn't mind a Li Ming either, but it's definitely a good option. Abathur first of all, and Dehaka. So Abathur, Dehaka, so they go down a different path where they focus a bit more on map manipulation. They can also, with Dehaka, burrow into a lane, have Abathur with them, and then go straight for a kill against an isolated target like Gul'dan or Greymane. And we have Zul now taken by the good guys. Okay, time for that roaming Zul that Alex wanted to bring back into the game. I think he succeeded. Get tricked.
But Abathur and Dehaka for soak, and then decent wave clear here from Dehaka. Will Zul be able to get an effective movement on the battleground, pushing his way?
I mean, Zul has a lot of, has a much harder time, I think, when he goes up against Dehaka and Abathur.
Yeah.
Simply because you can pressure him so much. But Zul can work for sure. I still like a lot what Expert has here. I think they really got their comfort picks. The opening with Uther and Nubarak is already amazing. And then you have the Abathur and Dehaka too. You still need a strong damage dealer from the backline, but there's still so much to choose from here. And they go into a Jaina. I'm liking that.
Dude.
I've been talking at the mid-season brawl already a lot with some of the teams, with Fnatic and Dignitas, about Jaina, that she should actually have a place in this meta as well. The big problem with Jaina is that you have so many dive heroes right now. But what we see is teams getting way more comfortable playing around dive heroes, and also bans are targeting them a lot more. You have bans on Genji, you have ban on Illidan, and with all of these heroes taken away, all of a sudden your Jaina is looking much better, because overall, she really works in what the meta is oftentimes doing. These blow-up comms that we see sometimes with Li Ming, for example, being played, work with the Jaina as well. And she brings a lot of additional tools to the table here, Wave Clear being one of them. So I like Jaina a lot in this case. I love that they're going into her.
If Genji is not on the opposing team, Jaina actually isn't a bad pickup, and I kind of miss her being in the rotation, so it's cool to see her back in the HGC. Again, you mentioned the wave clear is wonderful for her. If you think that you can get away with divers not coming your way, you can get the Arcane Intellect and just rotate between lanes, which is good against Hero Zul. You also have your Chill Armor as well. If you do focus off against divers that could get on top of you, Illidan, maybe Greymane, which could help you out a lot. So Jaina definitely having a place in this meta, and it seems that Expert has found a way to make her work.
She's also a great copy for a great target for the copy.
Yes.
We've seen her comboed off with Zeratul in the past, getting the Void Prison in, and then the Ring of Frost. There's a lot that you can really do with her. The main reason she's really just fallen off was all that dive. And that was mainly a Nubarak. Then Genji came in, Hunt Illidan made his reappearance. You have the Greymane on top of that. And if you look at the draft here, Genji's banned, Illidan's banned, they have a Nubarak, so all these heroes are not a factor. And all of a sudden, Jaina looks way more appealing than a lot of the options that they had.
Well, let's do it. Expert facing off against good guys here on Sky Temple. Can good guys get into a situation where they can get a victory, or will Jaina force him to chill out?
I like it. It was a good one. It was a really good one.
Here we go.
Well, bonus points to Trixla for the word puns here today. 6.5 out of 10 for sure. And as we're heading into the third game, we have the experts to the left side with Nick on Jaina, Bad Benny on Nubarak, Athero on Dehaka, AD of course, once again on Abathur, and Curson is playing the support. He is playing Uther.
Good guys on the right side in the red. Raid Boss on Ariel, Kronaz on Zul, so we'll keep an eye on him. BKB playing Arthas, Anti-Hero on the Greymane, and Zay will be playing Gul'dan. So interesting that Raid Boss is on the Ariel and Kronaz is playing Zul.
Yeah, so with that, we have Anti-Hero on the Greymane, which is a hero that he jumped on several times already. But that switch from the support is definitely not something that I expected. So Kronaz, all of a sudden, off the support duty, apparently lost the trust here. But they are losing more than that if they are unlucky, because AD already wants BKB, and this is a dead Lich King. Arthas is down. That's an early kill here for Team Experts, opening the match up with a bit of action.
It's no bueno. With Zul, you typically don't want to lose people in the early game. You want to get your lanes pushing right away to start getting that momentum that's so necessary for you to have a Zul composition. They should be okay and get to a spot where they can go ahead and stabilize, but they're in a spot now where Team Expert opens up with a kill and slows down their movement.
I like Expert's draft. I like the way they present themselves here today, and ADRD's impact on Abathur has been pretty significant. So I actually enjoy this quite a bit, what we're seeing from here. It's going to be rough for the good guys to make anything happen. And I really still want to find out what's going on with that switch in roles. Raid boss on the support just seems a bit weird here. So at this point, I have to question if that is a split change they made, where they said, okay, listen guys, this didn't work out, let's play this a bit differently and try something, or if that's actually practiced.
I mean, it could be that Cronon's actually played a lot of Zul in Hero League, and maybe it'll be effective with them. And yeah. Oriole has been played by Raid Boss in the past, so they went ahead and made it work. Could be that they feel like, you know what, let's just go ahead and just run down mid and see what happens. Yeah,
they could just YOLO it here. So we're going to find out maybe later in a potential interview, but for now we have to, of course, watch out how it works on the map. And they take experience. They have the rotations going with Zul, and the experience is working out for them. Anti-hero has to deal with Ethereal in the meantime. So we have our two solo lane players for the two teams going up against each other. And at least for now, the good guys take a short lead in experience, but they have the earlier level 4 talent.
Yeah, this is typical when you have a Zul composition. You're going to go ahead and get some push going here, which should net you an experience right away. And if you are proper on the rotations, you can actually find avenues like this where you open up the map.
The wave clear is actually crazy. I mean, they approached the wave and was gone.
Yeah.
And instead you see a bunch of skeletons that make their way through and push the lane in even harder. They completely ignore the temples except for the one up at the top, where Greymane is constantly poking. But this rotation that we're seeing here is extremely rough, and Team Expert was actually struggling to react to it while the temple was still up. Overall, they lost out on the exchange.
Oh, hang on. Big engage here on the right side as Expert's going to go for a fight. They move in. A Thoro's at half health. He will need a heal from Uther, and he does get it. But at the same time, a Nubrak gets bursted down for going in for the engage, and Team Good Guys are fighting Expert.
Yeah, Kirsten is now falling too, and Dehaka moving in for this was a bit weird. This was not really the best timing either, because we had the Siege Giants already captured by the Good Guys, and they were helping out in the fight too. Basically, we saw Dehaka moving in and immediately running away because he was already down to 40% HP. And that, of course, meant that up to the top lane, we saw Greymane pushing in even harder. Good Guys are now all of a sudden setting themselves apart with 1.5 levels and a talent lead. That changed fast. This game really flipped quite quickly in favor of Team Expert.
Yeah, if Team Expert actually wanted to go in for that engage, they had to find somebody and pick them off quickly. Jaina's not going to be someone that's going to sit there and auto-tech someone to death. They usually have to blow them up. But we're going for the Q build here, which is great for poking and working on double tanks as well. But you're going to have to wait until level 10 before you actually have that blow-up possibility with the Ring of Frost being available, and of course Abathur coming in with the Ultimate Evolution. So Expert, the moment they realized they couldn't hit the drag, tried to retreat, but at that point, Nubrak was already dead. They do get the shots on top though, so that's going to be good for them, and they are staying here in experience, but they need to be a bit more careful.
Overall, the Good Guys have actually a really strong stance now in the game. I still like what the Experts are trying to do here, and I think once that we have the copy for Abathur and the double Jaina in the team fight, it's going to be very rough, since Zul and Arthurs don't really have escape tools they can use to get out of all that AoE that is moving in against them. So that's for me the crucial point. How are the Good Guys dealing with the level 10s on Expert? Are they still going to be able to make those plays? Nick, of course, has to adapt a bit too. He needs to be careful that he's not getting locked down. But once more, Bad Benny being aggressive here, trying this time to go for Xay, gets the stun in. And the kill against Gul'dan.
Solid play there. Bone Prison coming out on Bad Benny after he uses the Burrow charge. Oh, but hang on. BKB staying in his front line. Doesn't want to stop fighting, especially with Anti on the way here on the Greymane. Burrow will save a Thorough, but a 1-for-1 trade for both our teams.
So well played by Dehaka here, especially with that Burrow. It was just in time to save him. Good poke coming out of Greymane. Anti doing well and pressuring Jaina even more. They have an entire level lead now. It's fantastic for the next temple phase for them. Both of the teams took the night camp already, and Experts still have it up at the top, at least a few remaining minions. And now BKB and Anti-Hero are trying to push this out as fast as they can. One of the towers is out of ammunition, so that helps them a little bit, pressuring this back, but they are very unlikely to get the wall here. They're very likely, though, to get the level 10 during the temple phase, so that should be an uncontested one.
Should be an uncontested one for sure here. And as Expert is looking for fights. They would love to contest Good Guys before that 10 does connect. Good Guys, if you look at the mini-map, aren't doing anything, though, to be in a risky situation.
At the top lane, really low, nearly falling here at Tsudihaka, as we saw Ethereum moving in with the help of Abathur. And talking Abathur, he went into Mule on level 7. We already see it at work in the mid lane. So their expert is currently trying to just simply repair their own fort. And the longer it takes the Good Guys to actually take it down, the more value Mule is going to get here. It's a fantastic talent for Sky Temple. It's in fact the best map for Mule.
Yeah, it's great for Sky Temple, but also great against split pushers in general. If you have a Zul on the opposing team, an Asmodan, or even a Zagara, you can make Mule work out, especially if you have the ganks coming in to stop those split pushers from being effective. So Mule being picked up by Abathur, great for multiple reasons as discussed here. Now 10 does hit for Good Guys. They're working on the temple in the bottom. 10 will be around the corner for Expert, but they're doing everything they can here to try and get set up. Bad Benny wanting to bait somebody down that path.
And once the 10 was ready, the first thing that Antihero did, he immediately fired the bullet against Dehaka because he wants to relieve some of the pressure at the top lane. And he's just not able to get that. The wave clear of Dehaka is allowing him to push the fort in now, or at least that's what he's attempting to do. We see Greymane currently in the mid lane, but here comes now Ring of Frost. The level 10s are ready for Team Expert. They have a Divine Shield, they can go for the double Jaina play, and we will find out how their level 10s measure up. Here comes the Burrow, they're going in, Ethereum wants BKB, army is popped as they're jumping onto Arthas.
Good guys, be careful here. Running in here will get hit by a Ring of Frost. In fact, Ariel and Golden are hit by the Ring of Frost. We're gonna have the Temple grab for the moment, but with double Jaina's up, Team Good Guys gotta back up.
Good Guys is backing off for now. The fort at the top lane has still not been taken out as Dehaka moved bot lane. But now here comes the stun, and again we see the blizzards coming in. And not quite delivering yet. Curson is about to die, and Ethereum is also low. He gets taken out by Raid Boss on Oriel. Look at the Good Guys all of a sudden starting to dominate the team fights here.
Yeah, Team Good Guys winning in the team fights. Solid spot for here, 5-2. They're actually looking towards a boss. Ultimate Evolution won't be up for a while here, if I remember correctly. So Nick comes in for the poke and will help out. 25 seconds for that Ultimate Evolution. So Nick is going to be in a weird spot where you can't really do too much, especially being low on mana.
Yeah, this is a free boss for sure. You can't really do anything about it. You have nothing on the map. Two heroes are there that...
Oh my, that actually works!
The trap!
Do they get the kill though? Can they get the kill? Bad Benny with the impales. Anti falls down. Chrono's in trouble as well. Aegis will be used at the last second, but the trap actually pays off.
Jebaited. Jebaited hard. The trap pays off, and that was fantastic for Expert. They get 3 kills out of the Abathur trap. That's a moment when you are on the Good Guys where you just hate your life.
Yeah, that's been...
Look at this. You get the boss, it's free. BKB is actually incredibly low, but you know you get the boss. Then you have this massive minefield, and you're like, guys, this is awesome. So all of a sudden you're like, hey, we can maybe take an Ubrak, and Bad Benny leads them down to the path. So much damage. Bad Benny nearly falls. Keep in mind, this is a 3 versus 5 at this moment.
And Thorough comes in here too. Yeah, helps out in the fight, and the Adventure's cleaning up. Nick has no mana, so you could almost say that there was one less person in that fight to bring out the Qs, but geez, Team Good Guys gotta be kicking themselves over that one. And the thing is, like, how do you know that's happening?
You can't.
You can't know.
And also what you would expect is, okay, maybe he wants to bait us into 2-3 toxic nests. But that was about 9 that we saw there. So yeah, that just feels bad. You get the boss, you're in a fantastic spot, you're like, guys, the world's our oyster, and then all of a sudden you run into a massive minefield as you're trying to grab an additional kill, and you lose 3 heroes instead.
That's one of those moments where you like look at the team fight after you die and you hit that tab button and you're like, wait a minute. All those toxic nests did that much damage to me. Team Good Guys gotta be hurting after that one, but they have to recuperate, get set up, and head straight to the bottom lane and make sure they're set in a spot to actually handle one of these temples. But remember, with Mule being on the field, Team Expert doesn't mind trading 1 for 1.
Abathur is definitely the most toxic hero in the game. There's no doubt about it in my mind after this anymore.
That's like your 9th joke today. Look at you, man.
Hey, I'm trying.
That funny
okay?
bone.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the master of bad puns today. So we have 13 talents for both of our teams now, and 5 kills versus 5. At this point, again, it's all about good old Jaina and the copies in these team fights. Bad Benny eating the bullet and getting the Divine Shield just in time. Great play here, making sure that the tank is alive. But look at Xay, he's completely isolated. He's just wandering around like that. Yeah,
He was lost there. Couldn't get caught there as Bad Benny just went ahead and brought the auto text with no mana up for Gul'dan. He did no damage in that fight. It's still going to be a nice little 4v4 here. Remember, we have Abathur with the hat going to be available. Bad Benny comes in for the big burrow charge into the big knockup, and with a Blizzard following in the fight, Team Expert is doing their best here to get another kill.
Bullet after bullet, but BKB in trouble. Zul is down. BKB with another death coil heals himself up. Kronos is trying to help out, but he can't. Down goes, or Raid Boss actually in this case on the healer. Down goes Greymane and Arthas as well. So it's another triple kill against the good guys.
The moment I get done with this cast, I'm going to buy a ticket and go to horse camp, because Bad Benny has been destroying today. You want to come?
Reddit, help me out. How do I improve in Heroes? You go to horse camp.
You go to horse camp. Seriously though, he was under a quarter health that entire time, got 3 massive Boro changes over the last 2 minutes of fights, and was able to set up his team for actual fights.
That's the best thing. Every time he's about to die and he sees that the Bone Prison is about to hit him, he's not trying to burrow out. He goes in and just says, I'm going to get this done. You guys do what you do. If I die, it's fine. We still trade. If I stay alive, you know what? Then I look like a boss. And today he is going full boss mode.
Today is a boss man here, charging into fights, the Warbringer for the team, and Team Expert getting 16.
I would pay money to see you in horse camp.
I actually wouldn't pay money for that. I actually would pay money. Now that I think about it.
That Trixler gif as he falls off the horse after I've seen you flail and run away from a Dehaka. If the horse is running away with you and just like, stop now, don't, please.
All right, we have to pause this broadcast for a real talk real quick. I actually don't run like that. People think I do. It was for comedic effect. Hang on, Giants being invaded
He's lying.
here.
I've seen him run like this.
Team Expert taking the 16-15, and they keep running this battleground here. There's still a good chance for Team Good Guys to actually fight back in this match here if they get 16.
Trig performs the same flailing run every time he sees an ice cream truck.
Yummy. Love ice cream.
Yeah, who doesn't? 16 versus 16 now, and with that, the Good Guys have another chance for a good team fight. So all jokes aside, the last team fight pretty much set the Experts ahead, and when we're looking at the structures on the map, it's still pretty even. The kill count, of course, is in favor of the Expert. They have 9 versus 5. They are also looking pretty dominant in the team fights, thanks to their coordination mostly, actually. But the Good Guys can still make this work. If they play around the Jaina, and especially the Ring of Frost, they still have a good option. But these toxic nests are just so annoying for them. And just look at BKB already being down at half health.
Happening again. And now, this time, luckily, BKB was able to escape. I thought for a second they would go for the invade, but the rest of the team of Team Expert was in this top left, grabbing the camp here to keep pushing in. So, Team Expert still have to be wary of what Team Good Guys are capable of in these fights, especially with a boss being available on the bottom side. Team Expert will put Dehaka on the top and dance around the middle.
Oh, okay. I can't wait for the next battle here. This time there are no toxic nests around up at the top, so that makes it a little bit less likely. Look at Aethero, immediately getting hit by the bullet. Andy is just throwing them out like candy right now. The entire game. Basically does the same that ADR did on the previous map, but now look at that boss being taken here. So we have an exchange. Good Guys are going to try and heavily push the top lane so that they get more out of the shots from the temple itself, but the boss is already too late. And of course the Good Guys know this by now. If you see that your opponent is not even contesting the top and is just gone and doesn't even bother that you take his forts away, then you know boss is taken. So they're just simply trying to pressure even harder.
You have to be careful though, because Team Expert is orchestrating a gank on the top side here. And at this point, you haven't seen anyone on the field, you have to assume they're coming in from behind you, and they are. Thorough goes in. He will miss out on the isolation, but Cocoon lands on Ariel. Great
skeletal mages as well. Here comes the Ring of Frost locked down, but Aethero is low, so is Bad Benny. Both of them are just barely alive here, trying to rush away. Jaina, the copy, is being followed by BKB, zoned out a bit, but nobody is dying here.
Yeah,
nobody has fallen.
They're going to keep Team Good Guys here. If they can, they can get this boss in the keep. And in fact, they get Greymane and Arthas, so they get blown up.
They just went back to the keep, tapped the fountain, and returned. The one thing that the Good Guys had to do was drop either a Nuburak or Dehaka, and they didn't get either one of them. So now Gul'dan has fallen too. The boss is still active, still at the bottom. Raid Boss is not going to escape from this one. It's another 4 kills, 13 versus 5, and the entire team can now make their way down to the bottom of the map and try to take the keep down.
Team Good Guys had some moments here where they could have swung momentum into their favor, but not paying off as Team Expert just team fighting a little bit better. And now they have a pretty massive lead due to it, 19-18 over their opponents, moving towards 20, and they'll score the first keep of the game.
This is just absolutely awesome and amazing what the experts have been doing today. Especially Bad Benny, that horse camp value, definitely 10 out of 10.
Please, Bad Benny, for the interview after this cast, if they get the victory here, get that 3-0, and it's looking like they might be able to do so with a 20 being available.
It was the best thing. AD already was talking about it when we mentioned and said, like, okay, how do you guys prepare for the weekend? It's an important match for you. And he's like, yeah, I don't know, it's going to be a bit rough. And I was like, why? Well, Bad Benny's at horse camp, and that was the moment I started giggling, and I was just like, okay, he's definitely pulling my leg here. But he was really worried about it. He said, like, yeah, it should be fine. We play on Sundays, so we have a couple of extra days. But still, him on horse camp, we lose out on practice. I think at this point, screw boot camps, guys. Just send them to horse camp. If any one of the big teams listens out there, this is the way to go.
Yeah, certainly looking like it here. Team Expert just completely dominating, and now it's all about being slightly safe, but being willing to fight. Team Good Guys, 20-18, 19 floating around. They have to soak, but Temples, they'll be activating soon, and that will allow Team Expert to almost end this game.
It's still interesting to me that despite the lead in experience and the huge difference in the kill count, Expert only has taken a keep yet. So the Good Guys are behind by a level, but they have not lost more than a single keep. It's actually pretty impressive considering that there's a mule on the map
it's
and
also
how this
comp,
game
though.
has gone so far.
Think about the comp too, like what Jaina, like what is she gonna do against a keep besides siege away with Qs? It takes way too long, you can't really auto attack. It's mostly a wear and tear type of composition.
Yeah, but still, Good Guys are fighting back here. They're losing the walls now.
True.
Bad Betty this time missing, actually, the timing slightly. So he gets locked down, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the team is there to help him out. And of course, the Good Guys are just staying safe. They're going to stay completely passive as can be, just to make sure that they get the soak through the lanes that are pushing against them. There's nothing really on the map for the experts to take. The temple is going to change that, but up to this point, it was only a camp to the left and right that could have been claimed, and that's what the experts are doing now.
With both temples available, this will be the last stand here for Team Good Guys to make a big play here once they hit that level 20 and try and force a fight to start getting the comeback. There will be a boss in 1 minute and 20 seconds, so Team Expert and Good Guys do have to keep vision around that area, be aware of it. A thorough setting up for another bush gank here, as there are multiple mines on the right side.
Okay, but here we go now. Bone Spear. That talent alone would have delivered so many kills earlier if they had it against the Haka and the Nubarak when those were barely escaping.
Drag.
Legion take.
Happens again. Poor Ariel.
Oh my god. Straight into the toxicness. Anti-hero is low. This could very well be game. The dance is already happening. Here comes a Horrify, but doesn't even matter anymore. It's a 5 versus 3. They might get the kill against Bad Benny, but, well, forget about that. Horse camp value as he turns around and gets the drop on Greymane. He falls, and so does Arthas. They finally take a Nubarak down. Took him long enough, but it is only to see the last hero on the side of the Good Guys fall. And that, of course, should be the end, as the experts are already about to move in.
Yeah, they're heading straight to that bottom lane. A good 25 seconds before Ariel even spawns. 10 more seconds after that, we'll have Zulin available, but the core already taking damage as the armor will begin to fall. And Team Expert, looking for the Western Clash here, will get a nice 3-0 over the Good Guys as they focus down the core and deliver the final blow.
Team Good Guys not winning a map today, and the experts looking strong heading into the last match day of HGC before the Western Clash. A quick, showy Ring of Frost being thrown out there. 3-0, very well done. The experts rocking it today. And they are closing in, now tied actually in match points with good old Tricked Esports.
Yep, Good Guys have been showing some good games as of late, but you can just see the level the Expert is currently at. All of that practice coming together, the camaraderie between a Thorough and the rest of the roster is starting to really show off, and they just came in here. And when it came to actual team fights and execution, Expert just seems to be slightly ahead of the curve.
So we can take another close look at the last team fight as well to see how that ended, and ended pretty quickly on the Oriole, as we can see here. Yeah, that's just... First of all, also, what are you doing there?
Why are you fishing in a bush, yeah?
Why are you... Haven't you watched the video? Have you not watched the video? We learn with HGC. We showcased how to not do it. Why is Oriel running into that bush all alone? That's not how you do that.
We'll have to make sure we get a DM sent straight to them, get that video set up. Checking the bush with Abathur Mines included, a little bit too deadly.
Abathur Mines, Enediyahaka, you're just asking for it at that point. That was an insta blow up against Oriel, and at that point you know you've lost the game.
Yeah, Zay on the right side is frantically trying to do whatever he can. And yeah, once you lose the Oriel, that's your main battery for the healing to give you a chance to sustain through. It's going to be over, and it looks like we have the horse champion himself, Bad Benny, on the phone here. Bad Benny, welcome to the show, and how was horse camp?
Thank you. It was really nice, actually.
Yeah?
It was a real vacation, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was
nice?
like mix of working out, horse riding, and being outside, which is something I don't usually do too much.
I know that feeling. It
was
outside.
A nice vacation.
Well, did you fall off the horse or did you stay on top of it?
There's actually a video of me slipping off a horse when I'm trying to mount it on Twitter right now. But I didn't fall off a horse. It was slip before I actually got up. So there's a difference.
As long as you're okay, it's good to hear. I'm just gonna go ahead and send you over to Caldor because I just wanted to give you some harassment a little bit, but I'll send you over to him.
So, given that you guys did really well today and you especially excelled, would you say that it is a good recommendation for other organizations, maybe Dignitas and Fnatic, to send their players to horse camp before important matches?
Definitely. I think it would be actually a real good team bonding exercise. Honestly, I think it would be really good actually. But for improving gameplay in itself, I mean, we played okay, right? It went okay.
You dominated.
You doubled.
Horse camp practice worked out. Let's say that.
What do you guys think about next week? It is the important game for you. You are in a fantastic spot to make it to the Western Clash. What's the thought process on the experts now?
I mean, we know that if we win, we 100% go. So we still have it in our hands to make it. And if we lose, we kind of don't deserve to go a bit. But I'm actually not sure what happens if we lose. I think we still can go, but I'm not. I don't know exactly how it.
There's a lot of different scenarios, and you guys can still go. But just talk a bit about the game against Team Liquid. How confident are you that you can make it out of your own power there?
I think we're feeling pretty confident. We've had since we didn't scrim too much this week, and yeah, we need to get back to it a bit. Me shot calling it. I'm obviously taking a break from that affects a bit because I need to get into it a bit again. But we feel kind of confident. I feel pretty confident, I would say.
All right, thank you very much.
Awesome. Well, Benny, we looked forward to your match next week. Before I let you go so you can get back to practice, the floor is yours for shoutouts.
Shout out to sponsors like Logitech and Acer, I think.
Not again.
Shut up, Color. Shut up. Okay. Shout out to Expert, my teammates, and everyone who supports us. And obviously, shout out to the horse camp.
Awesome. Bad Benny with the victory today. A 3-0 as they gallop to that victory over the good guys. So congratulations to them. Bad Benny and crew looking good today.
Someone has to finally write him a note.
Yeah, gotta write down the checklist of all the sponsors.
This is the third time, and it's really not that many and that hard. Just write them down in front of your screen. It's I think it's Acer, but I'm not so sure about it.
Don't worry, we'll get a list set up for them, and Caldor will call it all out for them next time. Let's go ahead and look at the standings here as Expert get a victory, and they continue to be at number 2 with the 4-2